Now when the lights turn out on focus, overdose, slow, hope, don't choke. This lucid psychosis, kitty cat broke it, leaking out slow, get the most so ferocious.
This is Project Connect, a show where we take people who are up and coming in the Inland Northwest, whether their passion is music, art, photography, sports, or just trying to live out their dream. We pre-select 5 photos off their social media platforms to give them a chance to describe what was going on instead of the caption they had posted with it.
Overdose, slow, don't choke. This lucid psychosis, kitty cat broke it, leaking out slow, get the most so ferocious. We about both, keep it breathing, keep it dark. We could spark trees and I won't seek meaning. We could catch feelings, speak about dreams and the world so free.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Hi everybody, welcome to episode 7 of Project Connect. I have Blake here with me. Talking about his life in acting. So let's just get started here. Jump into the first photo, which is...
That's a full-on wig right there. The beard was half real, half fake. And that was for the play at Coeur d'Alene High School. We did The Little Mermaid, and we actually ended up selling out the last 3 shows, which is pretty awesome. And I don't know, I do a lot of school theater. I think that's a lot of fun to do. And Caden liked it. And Caden did take those pictures. He comes into most of our plays and just kind of takes pictures and stuff.
Okay, that's really cool. I mean, what inspired you to start doing acting?
Yeah.
Theater.
So I started off, I was mainly in sports. Sports was like a big part of kind of my life. And I always wanted to do theater, but it never was an option because it was sports is 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's so intense and they need you to be there a lot of the time. So kind of freshman, sophomore, junior year of high school, I was really into sports, and then I kind of would do theater. But there's also a competitive drama side, and that was a big thing I enjoyed too. But the plays, I made sure to get as many as I could, and I think Little Mermaid was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah?
I had to wear tights on stage, and that was a little rough, but besides that, it was pretty fun.
Okay. It looks like you guys won state drama that year.
Yeah. We actually ended up winning 4 years. The first CHS student to have 4 state titles.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty awesome. That's completely to Jared Helm, our director right there. He's laying down in the picture. And competitive drama, a lot of people don't get that acting can be competitive. In the real business, it's crazy competitive. There's people constantly trying to get the job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to literally work so hard to beat them out. But competitive drama is kind of for high school, and it's a lot like football in the way that all the schools compete, and there's 4A, 5A, 3A. We're part of 5A, which is the top one. And the way it works is there's solos, humorous, ensembles, serious, pantomime, and there's a prop building category.
Oh, okay.
So this last year, I was in ensemble serious, ensemble humorous, and I wrote 2 pieces, and I was building. So I had 5 things. I was all over, and I ended up taking everything to state, and ended up scoring 20 points. It's kind of like a point system. There's semifinals and finals.
Oh, okay.
In each room you go to, you earn points for your team. And Mr. Helm has won I think 8 years in a row now.
Oh,
so
really?
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I was just glad I got to jump along for the team ride.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
No doubt. Yeah, that's honestly really cool. I didn't really know drama was that big of a category, tons of categories.
And a lot of people
that.
don't. And it's not too respected when it comes to high school, and that's it's sad and all, but when you we've had people come to the competition and watch, and they're like, oh, this is really cool, this is intense.
Yeah.
And we're like, it gets feisty because we have people stealing props and trying to sabotage them in the middle of the competition. intense.
I picked this photo. I thought it was a really cool photo with your obviously drama based and sport based, and you've kind of already touched on that. What was kind of like, who took this photo? Was it Caden?
It was my dad, actually.
Oh, okay.
I gotta give all props to my dad.
Okay.
He came up with this idea, and he's like, okay, there's this scholarship, and it was called Frame My Life.
Okay.
So you take a picture of the rest of your future, and that's what it's like supposed to be. So that's me standing in the picture in our art room with the state championship, and in the mirror, it's me with an Oscar, and that's where I want to be. Yeah, that's where I want to be when I get older. I want to be able to at least compete for an Oscar. Be on the big screen, yeah. And my dad, with some editing tricks, put me in the mirror. I thought that was pretty cool. And the caption was the American Academy, and that's the school I'm going to be attending.
Oh, okay.
It's the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. It's in West Hollywood. And I think 8,000 people auditioned for it, and they only accept like 180.
Oh my god.
So I got lucky being kind of a small town kid, and I
Yeah.
actually screwed up on my audition.
Oh.
But
Still got it.
But they saw something on me, so I was like, that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that.
That's crazy. That was like the one photo that I was excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it.
So this was a lot to do with my senior project. For my senior project, I originally was going to shoot with Cade in the movie, but it didn't work out, and I was scrambling to find something because the senior project was coming up. And this Mr. Helm pulled me aside, and he's like, hey, so I have a job for you. And I was like, okay, it's an acting job, I'll take it. And he's like, with the fire department, you're going to play a firefighter, and you're going to go to elementary schools and teach them about fire safety. And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, it's going to be 2 weeks, it's 30 shows, you're going to be up at like 6 in the morning and going till like midnight. And he's like, oh, and also it's during the Little Mermaid times. But can you do it? And I was like, yeah, I can do it. I'm pumped. So I went into it fully volunteer. I went to all these different schools, met the fire op. It was like a skit about knowing your fire exit plan. So we'd have kids run up and lay on a cot, and then I'd had like, I think it was size like 22 shoes, big clown shoes, and I rode a scooter in, and I was just all making noises. And it was a lot of fun. It had all the kids laughing. It was like the first through third graders. So they had a bunch of fun. And when we got done, I wasn't really expecting any big like press release or anything that big. And then the guy that was running it, Jim Lown, he's a fire marshal, he was my mentor, and he actually contacted the paper and told them my story and how I'm giving up a bunch of volunteer hours. It was 52 hours total.
Oh, dang.
And we just needed 15. So I went a little bit above, and I think that helped me pass my senior project, to be honest. Just those little bit of extra hours. But it was a lot of fun, and then the press came and interviewed me, and I got to talk about kind of like doing the sports and doing the theater and kind of where I'm going in school.
Oh, okay. That's honestly like really crazy.
Yeah.
I know we kind of talked about this before the interview, but what's your favorite actor here?
Oh, okay. So I got a bunch. I think when it comes to like acting, I would have to choose Daniel Day-Lewis, because he's just like, he has what, like 3-4 Oscars.
Yeah.
He's insane acting. My favorite movie is probably the Gangs of New York. That's up there for him. And then another big one is Tom Hanks.
Oh, okay.
Tom Hanks is an OG. You can't go wrong with him.
Yeah.
Favorite movies, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's hands down.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good. It literally takes like that whole era of his life and just like gives it in a movie and just hits every big topic, and he's an amazing actor throughout it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's me in a gown. There's a lot of costumes I forgot about doing, and yeah. So that was It's a Wonderful Life, and I played Clarence, who's an angel.
Oh, okay.
And he stops the main protagonist from committing suicide. He actually goes through and kind of tells him how his life was good, and he didn't see any of the good parts. And if he was pulled out of his life, then like a lot of people would be affected. And that was like, it had its humorous parts, and I was kind of the humorous thing, but it was like a really big topic.
Yeah.
And especially like for everything that's happening right now. That was
Yeah.
just such a like impactful play, and we always kind of went back through it every year. And it went like sales wise, it was pretty good, and I enjoyed doing that one. That was one of my top plays for sure.
What year did you do this? Was this year?
This year.
Oh, okay.
So it was It's a Wonderful Life, and then Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
This year.
So I believe that's all the photos I have for you today. So I'm gonna kind of give you a chance if you want to say anything about what's going on with your life. Like, obviously you're going to college. If you want to say anything, go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. So, hire me anytime you want. I'm an actor. But honestly, like, I'm going to be down in LA attending school. During the school, they put you under contract that you can't do any jobs. So I won't be able to do any acting jobs when I'm down there. But I think I'm going to do a lot of, like, my own stuff. Probably put up more videos on my YouTube. My Instagram, it's BWD Dotson. And that was a big... kind of like I'm going to work on that for platforming, because I know a lot of people coming out of Coeur d'Alene, they want that to grow, and I think that's a big thing we sadly got to focus on. Like, I don't think social media is the best, but I mean, if you're an actor, you need to be on it constantly and uploading stuff. So I'm excited to see where it's all going to take me, and I think your show's helping out so many people just kind of build their own brand. I think that's awesome.
Definitely. I'm glad that we've kind of gotten the word out with our show now, and but yeah, I mean, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Thanks for watching the latest episode of Project Connect.